Welcome to this episode of Ink It Up with Jessica TV. I'm Jessica Taylor, and in this video I want to talk to you about how to make the same card in different colors. I love this because you can come up with one card idea and then just by changing the colors make a really different card to give to someone else. So you could maybe match the card to the favorite color of the person you're sending it to. So this card here I've made with the Birthday Blooms stamp set from Stampin' Up, and I've made it in 5 different colors. So this first color is Balmy Blue, then Highland Heather, Flirty Flamingo, my favorite color ever, Coastal Cabana, and finally in Gorgeous Grape. So when you're making cards like this, that are all the same but with a different color, I like to start with black and white as kind of my base because that makes any color kind of pop. And so I've used white cardstock with just a little mat of black cardstock and black ink for the greeting. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make this card in yet another color, and that's going to be Grapefruit Grove. So to make this card, you'll need 3 pieces of cardstock. My Whisper White is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Basic Black is 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/8 inch. And my card base is 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches, scored at 4 1/4 inches. So let's start by stamping on our white piece. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my happy birthday greeting in a black ink. And I actually have this stamp mounted pretty straight on my wood block, so I know I can stamp it and it will be straight. Next, I'm going to stamp the flowers in Grapefruit Grove. This is a new color from Stampin' Up, and this is actually one of their new ink pads. So to open these ink pads, you kind of open them like a compact. Just put your 2 thumbs on the end and open them straight up. Some of the new ink pads are a little bit tighter. This one I haven't used a real lot, but some of them are really easy. So the more you use them, the easier they will get to open. So I'm just going to ink up this stamp. And so I get it where I want it, I'm actually going to use my Stamp-a-ma-jig. Now I already have my flower on here for making multiple cards, but what you would do is put your plastic sheet in the corner and then stamp with your stamp right in the corner to get it on that plastic sheet. And then you're going to line this up right where you want it. Put the black piece on. Now since my black piece doesn't go over my white cardstock here, I just have to be really careful to not move my white cardstock when I move this sheet. And then I'm just going to stamp with my stamp right in the corner. And then it's right where I want it. Then I'm going to move this up here and kind of move it until it's where I want it. Put the black bar on my plastic sheet again. Carefully move that. Ink up my stamp one more time. And then stamp with my stamp in the corner. All right, so now I have my flowers on there, and you'll notice if you look at the original cards I made, I did a little bit of sponging here. This card was actually inspired by a card that Gina K shared on Instagram, and she used different stamps, and I think she used a stencil to do her sponging. I just did straight sponging. So I just cut my sponges into little wedges and then lightly dab them, and I always check it on my scratch paper to make sure that it's not too heavy. And then I'm just going to lightly dab that over my flowers. So maybe I want the actual flower to be a little bit darker, and then I'll lightly sponge out from there. Once I've kind of dabbed on some color over my flowers, I'm going to pick up this piece of paper and sponge the edges. So to do that, I kind of just flick right along the edges, and this is just going to make it a little bit darker and add a little bit more color. So I'll kind of do that all the way along this one edge, like so. Then all we need to do is tape it all together. So I'm just going to add some adhesive on the back of my white piece. And then we'll tape that right to the basic black. And then we'll put a little tape on the back of there. And tape that right to our card front. And there we have one more card in the same exact color. So let's take one last look at those. This is Grapefruit Grove, Balmy Blue, Highland Heather, Flirty Flamingo, Coastal Cabana, and Gorgeous Grape. So I would love to know which color is your favorite of this card. Please leave a comment below and let me know. And maybe what other color would you make this card in? So I hope that you will give this technique a try where you make the same card in different colors. And thanks so much for watching. Happy stamping!